going on, bottom line viewers and NFL bettors? It's Mitch back here with my 5 favorite over-under plays for week 4 of the 2022 NFL season. Let me know your favorite play in the comment section below. Don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe to the channel for more weekly NFL best bets versus the spread, the over-unders, the parlays. It's all here on the BLV, so check it out on the channel. Let's get started with my first favorite over-under play of week number 4, which is the Atlanta Falcons hosting the Cleveland Browns. Over 47 is the play. I love the over because I think Atlanta is an offense that's being underrated. I think Jacoby Brissett and the Cleveland Browns are an offense that is being underrated. Both offenses are underrated. Both defenses are a bit overrated or just not very good. Atlanta's defense, most people don't think is very good. I don't think is very good. They can't get a consistent pass rush. They really are not very good at stopping the run, which is a strength of the Cleveland offense. And their secondary might be a tad overrated right now as, A.J. Terrell, everybody talks about him. Casey Hayward, everybody talks about their corners, but they haven't really come to play either. So I look at Cleveland being able to run the ball, establish that run with Nick Chubb back in Georgia, looking for a big game, the former Bulldog. You've got Kareem Hunt, and they're really getting other playmakers involved now as we evolve throughout the season. Amari Cooper is getting more and more involved. We're seeing David Njoku getting the football in his hands has been essential for this football team. I just really like what I've seen so far from Kevin Stefanski's play calling, from Jacoby Brissett's execution of this offense. And he's not being overly aggressive, but they're giving him plenty of opportunities off of that running game to hit shots down the field to Amari Cooper down the field, get David Njoku in the screen game and the quick underneath passing plays. And I think they really trusted Jacoby Brissett last week to spread 5 wide and just pick apart the Steelers. I thought that was extremely rare to see for a team with their backup quarterback. So they have a lot of trust in Jacoby. They obviously love their running game. I love their running game. That will be able to move the football up and down the field and put them in good early down and late down situations. And I think that the Cleveland Browns will score about 30 points in this game, and I expect them to win and to cover. So we look at the other side of the football, which is the Atlanta Falcons. What I like about the over in this game of 47 is that, okay, no Jadeveon Clowney and no Myles Garrett. I expect the Browns to move the football. I expect the Browns to win. I expect the Browns to score, but it's not because of their defense. I expect Atlanta to also move the football. I expect Atlanta at home to also, in the dome, be able to efficiently run the ball and throw the ball without Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett. Those are 2 essential pieces to this defense. This defense is a heavy zone defense that relies on a 4-man rush. And without that 4-man rush and the explosiveness of those edge players, it just doesn't give the Browns the opportunity to play the way they want to play, which means they have to adjust. And they're already playing an offense that's incredibly diverse and different and unique from the rest in the NFL. You have to deal with Drake London. You have to deal with Kyle Pitts. You have to potentially deal with Cordell Patterson, who I know is injured, but hopefully can play in this game. Regardless, though, if he doesn't, it could lead to more passing for Marcus Mariota. It could lead to more trickery in the run game, which is always a great thing from Arthur Smith. And I just really like how Atlanta's playing offense right now. They're scoring 26, 27, 28 points per game. That's fantastic through the first 3 weeks. That should lead to an over in this game in the Dome in Atlanta. My second over-under pick for week number 4 is the Indianapolis Colts and Tennessee Titans. This is a simple handicap, guys. Both of these offenses absolutely, positively stink. The Indianapolis Colts in week 1 couldn't put up more than 20 on the Houston Texans. The Indianapolis Colts in week 2 put 0 on the board against Jacksonville. And last week, they were absolutely atrocious versus the Kansas City Chiefs at home in this same environment, in this same stadium. I don't see how they score more than 20, 24 points in this game. Indianapolis should project to get better throughout the season on offense. They really should. But their offensive line allowed 5 sacks and 10 quarterback hits last week on Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan does not feel comfortable behind that offensive line. Matt Ryan, with his noodle arm, is not stressing defenses vertically. Mike Vrabel's going to be all over that. He's going to pressure Matt Ryan. He's going to have everything, all the zones covering the underneath concepts of Indianapolis. He's going to force him to beat him over the top, which I don't know if the Colts have the receivers to do so. I don't know if the Colts have the quarterback or even the protection to be able to stress defenses vertically down the field. I just don't think they do. And Tennessee has a pretty stout front still, even post Harold Landry injury, even with some beat up people. You still got Danico Autry. You still got Jeffrey Simmons. You still got some players up front. Bud Dupree's expected in the lineup. I think that the Tennessee Titans defense is starting to get things together. They provided a difficult time for Derek Carr in the first half. They really did a good job in week 1 against the Giants. And the Tennessee Titans had a slip up against the Bills, but that was with like most of their secondary injured. That's not the case here. Christian Fulton is in the lineup. I think that the Tennessee Titans defense can do a good job versus what right now is one of the worst offenses in the NFL. And Jonathan Taylor is also beat up. So pressure will be in the face of Matt Ryan and points will not be there for the Colts. On the opposite side, this is a Colts defense that looked very good versus a superior Chiefs offense. The Chiefs, they can't really run the ball, but that's kind of the strength of the Colts defense is their run defense. And now they face Derrick Henry. I think they should be able to slow down Derrick Henry. Maybe not completely shut him down, but slow him down enough. The Titans don't necessarily scare you through the passing game. They don't have a bunch of big-time receivers. Stephon Gilmore, as long as he's healthy, is going to be able to lock down Robert Woods in this game, or whoever they put him on, Treylon Burks potentially. I just don't see a ton in the drop-back passing game from the Titans. Most of what they offer is through play action. The Colts know that. They know that they've got to stop Derrick Henry. So I just feel like this is going to be a defensive battle. Points will be at a premium. I'm taking the under 43 in this AFC South divisional game. My third over-under play for week number 4 is the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals under 43.5. This is straight simple. The Arizona Cardinals do have Kyler Murray, but they can't get out of their own way offensively. They can't. They can't run the ball at all. And Carolina is a defense that's really nasty, really feisty, really athletic. And that defense is kind of built to slow down an offense like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. We look at the game last year where the Panthers defense utterly dominated Cliff Kingsbury's scheme. I feel like because of the college background of Matt Rule, this is one of the few games and matchups where he actually has a good idea of how to handle the opponent. And I feel like Carolina's defense, with the athletes they have up front, will not be worn down by the Roadrunner-esque ability of Kyler Murray throughout the course of a game. I expect the pass rush to get there, and I expect the Panthers to make their plays defensively. On the other side, it's just fading the Panthers offense. They are bad, really bad. Baker Mayfield has been horrendous. They can't seem to get the football to their best players consistently. Christian McCaffrey is not seeing the ball in the receiving game. They're really a run-first offense right now through McCaffrey, which leads to not a lot of points. They play through their defense. They play through field position and special teams. DJ Moore, every ball that's thrown to him is 10 feet over his head. And the Cardinals defense, yes, is one of the weaker ones in football, but this Panthers offense is so bad. Like, the Cardinals did play pretty well in the second half versus the Raiders. They did play pretty well versus Matthew Stafford and the Rams. The Rams didn't score a ton of points. So I think the Cardinals are starting to figure out how to play with this personnel defensively. And I think that shows up in this game. I think both of the defenses have advantages, and I'm going to take the under 43.5 in this game. My fourth over-under play for week number 4 is Jacksonville and Philadelphia over 45.5. This number just doesn't really make sense to me. These are two of the most efficient early down offenses in football and two of the most electric offenses so far in the NFL. Both offenses have quarterbacks that are playing great football. Trevor Lawrence for Jacksonville, Jalen Hurts for Philadelphia. Hurts is an MVP candidate, and Lawrence, if he wins this game, might be in the conversation. The Eagles are just really difficult to slow down. I like Jacksonville's defense, but it's going to be hard to hold them for 4 quarters. They can really burst and score like 2-3 touchdowns in one quarter, one single quarter. We've seen it already this year. They can run it, they can throw it, they can quarterback run it. They can utilize A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They can utilize Miles Sanders. They can utilize Jalen Hurts' legs. There's just so many different ways to attack a defense if you're the Philadelphia Eagles that it's hard to completely shut them down in any way, shape, or form. So I like the Philadelphia Eagles here, and Jacksonville is a good defense. Don't get me wrong, they've played well, but they're not an elite unit that I'm really scared of in this game. They're also at home, Philadelphia. On the other side, Jacksonville plays a defense in the Eagles that I think is maybe a tad overrated. They've played very well the last 2 weeks, and their pass rush has been better. Their run defense has been better, but I feel like Jacksonville will be able to attack them in the short, intermediate range of the field, throwing the football. I think if they avoid the outside, Darius Slay and company, and they focus on the slot position, Christian Kirk, they focus on the tight end, Evan Ingram, and getting the ball to their running backs against these linebackers, which I think are all real strengths for the Jacksonville Jags, I think Trevor Lawrence can certainly make plays. And the thing with the Jags offense that's difficult for the Eagles to stop is that Jacksonville can run and throw the ball, and they have balance, and they've shown that balance throughout these games in the first 3 weeks. So I like the over 45.5. That's not a very high number at all, and you're getting 2 teams with pretty good offenses so far this year. My 5th and final best bet for week number 4 of the 2022 NFL season. I like the under on Bucs and Chiefs, under 46. I bet it at 47, but I still like 46. I think the Bucs defense is legitimately dominant, and whenever you have a legitimately dominant defense, it changes the way a game is going to be played. Yes, Tampa Bay will be getting back some of their weapons, Mike Evans, Julio, maybe Donovan Smith, maybe even Chris Godwin. But I do feel like the Chiefs' defense is being underrated. I do feel like the Chiefs' defense is legit. I do feel like they're good. And the Bucs' defense is elite. And I noticed that the Chiefs' offense is not playing very well. Not only did they not play very well against the Colts, but they also didn't play particularly well against the Chargers, where multiple times in that game, the ball could have been taken away if not for the referees throwing the yellow laundry on the field. It just feels like the Chiefs lack a true identity. They lack consistency, and they really only have Travis Kelce that Patrick Mahomes trusts. They can't run the ball. They're one-dimensional, and Todd Bowles knows how to attack Mahomes from their history playing each other. And we know that Steve Spagnuolo has had success versus Brady in the past. We also can't really bank on the Bucs scoring a ton of points because we haven't seen them do it this year yet. And it's going to be with a unit that, yeah, sure, they're getting better players in there, but maybe they lack a little bit of execution just due to the fact that they haven't really played together much this year. So there is the possibility of rust for the Bucs in this game offensively, even if they have their players back. So I like the under here, with also the potential for some of that hurricane weather to make its way into this game. While I don't expect it, it's obviously a possibility. So I like the under in the Chiefs and the Bucs, and this to be more of a defensive football game. I'm not saying that there'll be no points at all, but more of a defensive football game than probably expected here between Mahomes and Brady on prime time. Those are my 5 over-under picks for week number 4. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and your favorite over-under play for the week. Don't forget to check out my spread picks, also my parlays for week number 4. It's Mitch. Good luck. Peace.